Welcome, my hordelings, to a special sneak peek of Wasteland 2, the beta. Red Boots DLC, only $49.95. Let's get it. Just kidding. You didn't really think we'd have downloadable content, did you? I'm gonna go ahead and start a new game. But I'm not gonna create characters because, again, this is just a demo. So we're just going to kind of take a look at the characters here. We have Fade. Once a scout for the Red Scorpions, Fade joined the Rangers after the Scorpions put a bounty on his head for taking spoils. He wasn't entitled to, but don't worry, he doesn't do that kind of thing anymore. Then we have Slick, a former trading post operator from Quartz. Slick learned the art of barter, one trade at a time. When Quartz was swallowed by radiation, he hitched a lift to Ranger Citadel and talked them into giving him a badge and a gun. We have Big Bert, a big-boned rancher's son from just south of High Pool. Bert once punched out a longhorn for sassing him. Not much in the social graces, but he'd be happy to handle your strong-arm duties. And we have Cold Eye, Cherry Bomb, Pills, Hex, Bear. Early beta production build. This build is intended for gathering early user feedback to improve the final product. Areas and features are still actively in development. A stiff, bearded old man wearing a hard-worn ranger uniform and a battered old cowboy hat. General Vargas walks with a cane, but he's not helpless. He wears a pearl-handled revolver on his hip, and there are a lot of notches on the barrel.
I appreciate you coming to Captain Ace's retirement party. Hardly knew the man. Appropriate, too, seeing as how investigating his death will be your first duty as a desert ranger.
How did Ace die, sir?
Ace had been trying to locate a faint radio signal, which has lately been giving us cause for concern. We gave him 3 repeater units and sent him to hook them up to 3 remote radio towers. This would have allowed us to get a fix on the signal. But sadly, Ace was murdered by unknown assailants right after hooking up the first tower, and his logbook and the last 2 repeater units were stolen. Yeah, I know, you've hardly found your feet with us. Here I am sending you on a mission that already got 1 ranger killed. Well, I wish I had another option, but the Desert Rangers are spread a little thin right now, and there are no more experienced hands to spare. The next generation is going to have to lead the charge.
What's the mission, sir?
Look, the mission is this. Search the area where Ace's body was found and do your best to recover his logbook and the repeater units. Then call in your report. If you can find the repeaters, I may send you on to finish his mission. Now, I know you're going to be tempted to hunt for Ace's murderers along the way, and if you find them, good. But your priority, however, is finding that signal. Vengeance for Ace's death is not as important as assessing this threat to our security.
Signal is a threat, sir?
The voice on those broadcasts disturbed me greatly. It talked crazy talk about a future where man and machine would be one. Worse, it talked about us, the Desert Rangers, specifically. It said it was coming for us.
Where's the area?
It's about a day's walk east from here. I'll mark it on your map.
Tell me about the call-in.
Yes, call in on your radio. Your radio is your lifeline to Ranger Citadel. We'll be calling you with alerts and updates on your current missions, and sending you new missions when we receive distress calls. As Rangers, it is your sworn duty to respond to those calls. That is the contract we made with the people of Arizona when we opened for business.
Where can we enter the Ranger Citadel, sir?
Once you prove yourself, the Citadel will be your new home. Consider this mission the final test of your training. If you succeed, you are welcome within our walls. If you fail, you aren't cut out to be a Desert Ranger. We won't let you in.
Now you can see you have different options. You have the hard-ass response, the kiss-ass response, and the smart-ass response. What if we prove ourselves by kicking down the Citadel doors, sir?
The hard-ass approach, huh? Well, you might get what you want from some folks in the Waste through intimidation, but it doesn't always work, particularly with old hard-asses like myself. If you want to kick down our doors, go ahead and give it a try. And I ain't pissing myself just because you growled at me.
Tell me about the repeater units.
When you get back to the Citadel, talk to our radio expert, Wade Woodson, if you want to know more about the technical details. All I know is the repeaters will upgrade the towers and allow us to zero in on the mystery signal.
Thank you, sir. We'll do our best.
Good luck out there, recruits.
Alright, so here we are. Orleans folks, come one, come all to the Wasteland 2. It definitely looks like a wasteland. This is as far as you can zoom in right now. I'm not sure if in the final game you'll be able to zoom in closer. Graphics are pretty intense, pretty sweet. And you can zoom this far out right now, which I love being able to get a real bird's eye view on everything. Looks very Fallout-ish. When you open inventory, you have that green spectrum on everything on a black background. So we'll go ahead and grab the shovel. See everyone's hit points. This move's turn-based, a lot like Temple of Elemental Evil, where you'll see the different enemies and characters based on initiative on the side. You can also go solo, where you just move one character at a time into position, or if you're scouting, looking for traps, things like that. You have a run and walk icon, or if you're just kind of wanting to creep up on the enemy and you don't necessarily want to barge in there too quickly. And of course we have our beloved inventory screen, where we can kind of get a closer look on all the characters. You can wear a headpiece, chest, legs, armor. You have your weapons here, left and right hand weapons, it looks like, or primary, secondary. Trinkets, your radiation suit, that's your canteen, and of course all of the inventory is broke down here by specifics or by favorites or by everything. See Cherry Bomb with her shotgun and her Zorro mask. Fade's got his cowboy hat and his SMG. And you got Big Bert. Big Bert doesn't look too big there. It's got a big ass pipe. And then when you click on character, you have the different attributes: combat skills, knowledge skills, general skills for all the different characters. And they break down attributes in this game by coordination, which is kind of your helps avoid traps, attacks, pick locks, and improve aim. Also has your number of action points and bonus range to hit, so this is kind of your agility. You have your luck, of course, affects your criticals. Your awareness gives you better initiative, chance to evade, bonus melee, critical chance, and also plays a small factor into action points. Strength, more hit points, more melee damage, more weight carry. Speed, movement per action, movement, speed, and stealth. Intelligence, survival points per level, ability to read high-level books. Charisma. Obviously, people will react more favorably to a ranger with high charisma. Combat skills. You can see there's quite a few. And there's probably going to be even more in the final game. That's just for combat. And you have your knowledge skills and general skills. So When you add all 3 tiers of skills together, you got quite a lot to look to, you know, define your character. Last but not least, the logbook keeps track of your missions. Alright, so let's get on to the gameplay here. We'll be doing a much more in-depth look at the game once it's finalized. I'm really not a huge fan of demos and playing alphas and betas, to be honest. I really kind of like waiting until the final product, but in this case, I'm extremely stoked about this game. I'm a huge Fallout fan, and I definitely also plan on doing the Wasteland 1 Let's Play eventually. This kind of looks like the doors to the Citadel. Don't think they want us in there. Let's go into run mode and get booking. This is our travel beacon here. First, I guess we can kind of look around. This guy's doing some graffiti or cleaning graffiti. So sick of graffiti duty. How long is this shit gonna continue? What the fuck? Doesn't look like we can do much there. Ace. A tough-looking redhead with decades of sun and wind and hard living etched into her angular face stands sobbing in the shadows. You saw her at Ace's retirement party. Sleeves of her uniform have been torn off, revealing multiple tattoos on her sinewy arms, all skulls. The tears running down her cheeks are splashing on a rusty old wrench she holds in her scarred hands. Among the skull and flame tattoos that cover Angela's arms, there's a single heart, and within the heart a single name, Ace. Sorry about the waterworks. I'm still pretty broke up over Ace. I'm Angie. You kids must be the new recruits Vargas trained up. Or y'all just babies. We saw you at Ace's funeral. We knew him well. They all hurt. This one, man. Ace wasn't even a ranger. Not at first. He was just a mechanic we met up at courts. He pissed somebody off out there and they locked him up. We sorted that out and he started running with us. Never stopped. Vargas eventually gave him the uniform and hat, but I don't think he was ever formally signed on. He was just always there. And now he's... God damn it, Ace. I knew this was trouble. I knew it. I see you have Ace's name tattooed in the heart on your arm. You... I noticed that. You noticed that, huh? Well, Ace always said I wore my heart on my sleeve. Yeah, me and Ace. We're more than just old army buddies. If you know what I mean. That's why it hurts so bad. That's why I want to come with you. Baby, it's us? Sorry, but you are. These cute little kittens, y'all remind me of Snake, Razor, Thrasher, and me, back when we were just starting out, thinking we were going to save the world for the future, thinking none of us would ever die. Christ, sorry, don't listen to me. Youth is good, optimism is good. If we all started out worn and jaded like me, nobody'd ever change the world, so you kids go ahead and give it a go. Maybe it'll work this time. Where's Quartz? Man, not sure I can recall. Haven't been out that way in ages. Don't even know if it's still on the map. Ask Thrasher, he'd know. You thought Ace's mission was trouble? Yeah, he was working on the same thing Vargas had you working on, trying to track down radio signals from beyond the edge of the map. All seemed a bit boring and scientific to me, but then Ace started saying he thought someone was following him. I just asked him to let me come with him when I met the rail nomads to give the repeater units. But he told me to go back to the base. He said he was just jumping at shadows because those radio broadcasts spooked him. I should have gone with him. Why didn't I go with him? Say, listen, Vargas asked you to look into Ace's death because he thought I was too upset at being professional about it. He didn't want me going all half-cocked and shooting up Arizona looking for his killer. But I gotta find this guy. Ace and me, well, we've been fighting side by side for now 20 years. I'm not letting him die unavenged. So, well, I know it's going against orders, but if you let me tag along, I'll be in at Killwell. I'll help you find your feet out there, maybe give you a few pointers along the way. I may be an old and slow, but I know what the waste like the back of my hand. What do you say? Cool. I need to tell Vargas why I joined. If anyone asks, I'm just helping you get oriented, alright? Cool. Got another ranger.
Ranger Team Echo, this is Ranger Command. Come in. Roger, Echo 1. Just making sure your radio is working. I'll be your dispatcher from here on out. I also wanted to give you a little heads up on your water situation. If you've all got full canteens, you should have enough water to reach the place where Ace died with plenty to spare. But if you're going to go exploring, you'll want to fill up again at any oasis you can find. Remember, your main priority is to recover the repeater units Ace was carrying. We must, of course, bring Ace's killers to justice, but right now, that's secondary to discovering the location of that signal. 10-4 Echo 1, carry on. Ranger Command out.
Alright, so here we are on the Wasteland overmap. You can just simply click on the radio tower and we'll see our group start to make way toward that area. It's a lot like the Fallout Tactics overhead map. You can come across a lot of random encounters here, and you also explore different territories along the way. So, see here we have a hidden oasis we can stop by. Our water is down here in the bottom right. And you're going to hear the Geiger meter going off because we're close to radiation here. I like how the different landmarks sprout from the ground as you get closer. Keep in mind, this is from a company that knows what the fuck they're doing, so there's no doubt in my mind that the final version of this game is going to be the utmost pimpalicious shit. Besides when we... Citadel
Roger
base,
that,
this is
Echo 1. When you reach the area where Ace's body was found, give it a good going over. The folks that picked him up said it looked like he crawled there. Maybe you can find some tracks leading to where he was attacked. Copy? (10-4 Echo 1) and check in immediately with any new info. Those repeater units are a top priority. Ranger Command out.
Alright, got our party here. Let's check shit out in the Wasteland.
Man, I didn't see it could shake out that easy, but this place is sending shivers up my spine. God damn it, Ace.
Ranger Star.
Jesus, that's Ace's star. How did it end up way the hell over here?
This man's gut met the pointy end of a raider's bowie knife. This woman couldn't pay the raiders' toll in scrap, so she paid it in blood. Go pay the toll, Wastelanders. The guys near the tower. You asshole, go pay the toll. Alright, so you have a choice here. You can go pay the toll. Or you can get a early attack on a motherfucker. Kinda like that. Lost control. She's gonna lose cannon. And that guy has really shitty aim. That bitch with a pipe to the face. You can see the combat is very reminiscent of the recent Shadowrun game that was released, but also all with the Temple of Elemental Evil. Any turn-based combat game takes into account that kind of XCOM-ish, where you can hide behind barrels and get partial cover or full cover, that kind of thing. So that's pretty cool as well. Here's one feature I love about the game, though. When you search a body, you can take all, and then it automatically will well, before it did anyways. See, now it's searching multiple bodies. Now it's moving to this body. So it actually searches every body within that circumference of the circle. So you don't have to necessarily click on every single dead body in the area. Logbook page. I did logbook get torn up and tossed all over Ace. What the fuck happened? I'm starting to find out a little bit more about Ace. The other guys will charge you 15 scrap to go through here, but you pay me 10, I'll look the other way. Or do we have a fucking problem? Well, we got a problem. Fuck you, I'm killing you now, bitch! That was a shit shot. 100% hit. Melee attack, walks up and pipes that bitch in the back of the head. We whacks him. Good. Kind of like falls down there. I'm gonna pound you flat to kick your teeth in for mumbling. Alright, so we got some other raiders coming up here. Vade's got some kind of luck going on there. See that friendly fire, though. Gotta be careful of that. We have a mongrel-ass dog coming. Seems very reminiscent of the Fallout 3 engine. Reminds me of that combat a lot. Gotta reload. Don't have enough time for an extra shot. But Angela's gonna take a point blank and wax him. Big Bird's gonna go beat a dog with a pipe. Ain't gonna miss. Check out the picture of the dog over here. That's a rabid son of a bitch. %, shot, that's no good. That cost us 7 AP. Out of range. Light up Big Bird there. You can see I'm not really putting too much thought into the strategy, just more or less trying to show you the game. Probably done more damage to my own group than I have the enemy. Nice shot. Let me tell you Matthias' law, friends. Matthias' law is vengeance. Matthias' law will stretch all the way to Arizona and kill those so-called
Matthias' law is vengeance. And soon, Matthias' law will stretch all the way to Arizona and kill those so-called upholders of justice, the Desert Rangers.
All right. Regrouping. Gonna take on that vicinity. And again, you'll see that green circumference arrow. So it's gonna hit these two bodies. So we'll take off. Get the little white aura around the character so you can kind of see who you need to search and who you don't need to search. Blood and oil mixed in the sand. This must have been where Ace and his mysterious assailant duped it out. You can see as you click on each item you get a nice little pic of it up there. Dog collar for Spot and for Rober. Grenades. Knife. Nice little pics for everything. They did a really great job on the art. And of course you can trade between characters. It's a leg! For Christ's sake, what's going on? The leg is made of plastic and metal, scuffed and dented from hard use. The badly mangled, severed knee joint looks like they were removed from the rest of the body by a shotgun blast. You can see down here the Constitution is actually healing the characters from time. Grab the metal leg. Head into this cave area. This toaster is in need of repairs. It's seriously a fucking toaster. I don't know if we have a repair person. Demolitions. We have a mass inventory selection there. Toaster repair. Seriously? Doesn't look like I brought anyone along with toaster repair. So maybe you have to have a particular character that can fuck with the toaster.